Hey everybody, Todd Michael Putnam here again from D&D Creative Table Designs, bringing another adventure idea for you. Just do some creative table building and some inspiration for adventure ideas. This particular one, just the concept of it was there was a old monastery underground with underground chambers and stuff dedicated to Knights Templar and Paladins and all that, where their sacred dead was buried. And a group of course, of evil necromancers and warlocks got together and overcame the remaining guardians of this old outpost and did all kinds of desecration and sacrilege to the sites in order to corrupt it for their own purposes. And now they are using it to summon demons and raise dead and into undead abominations and abscond with local villagers and practice necromancy and stuff on their bodies and torture them and all kinds of horrible stuff. So the players, of course, are coming to find out how come nobody has been heard from the outpost for some time, and discover that it's been taken over, and of course begin the process of clearing it out. So that's the basic idea behind it. And the adventure starts up here, and I've got the little spinning monolith thing up here that'll have some kind of like a debuff or something on it. There'll be a riddle or a way for them to actually try and shut it down so that they're not cursed throughout the entire adventure. But it'll basically be letting them know that there's some kind of a cursed ill omen that is placed upon them because they are not adherents of the religion of chaos or those of the necromancers or warlocks, or at least follow their creeds. And down here you can see where the chambers that used to be set for the paladins to pray and stuff have been taken over by the necromancers, who now have, sacrificial blocks and stuff up here where they sacrifice people, and people giving rites and whatnot, and espousing their religious beliefs. And over on this side, let me circle around, is where you can see some of the tombs from some of the original fallen paladins that have been busted open and desecrated, and that the warlocks and necromancers are using their bodies for unholy rites and stuff. So, and then when they bust through that, there's actually an opening here that goes to a bridge that has been destroyed over an endless cavern, a bottomless cavern, and it's filled with these flying reptile type creatures. So the players, of course, would have to figure out not only just how to get across the bridge span without falling into the bottomless pit, but also be fighting off the flying reptilian creatures at the same time. That gets to this other side over here, which they can go down. And in this small area here, way down in natural caverns underneath, there's been some deep goblins or gray goblins that have taken over the area very recently. And they've actually started raiding up against the warlocks and necromancers and stealing, when they can, some of the prisoners and bring them there for slave labor and food and whatever other purposes the deep goblins might have. It's a small makeshift bridge that they've built across a small underground river. It's the second bridge. I personally call this the bridge too far, because I just want to see how many bridges I could build underground. Turns out the answer is 4, so, or at least in this build. And then this is like a semi-neutral area just outside of the goblins' control, where they're just starting to check things out. Probably best to go up this side here. There's, of course, another major bridge that is intact that leads from the Paladin final resting place area, and it traverses the river. The supports and everything are still in place, but it's been taken over, and this is now being used by the warlocks to summon demons to do their bidding and to gain knowledge and all that kind of good stuff. You can see that there's a head warlock or demon guy, warlock guy there, and with his magical tome and the summoning that they've going on. The glowing light that's down there, that's actually from WizKids. And it's from their warlock tiles, and you can click on that. Let's see, I don't know if I can do it while it's on this thing. I don't know if I don't think it'll let me do it on this. There you go. Okay. So if you press it, then it'll actually change and it'll start fading in and out. You can see how it does that kind of cool stuff, which is really nice. And then if you can, again, I don't know if you can, if you press it again, it goes, oop. If you press it again, it should go off. This really should be clicked from the top and the bottom, but it can also do different colors if it's not actually in place. I'll try one more time here. Nope, doesn't want to cooperate. It's just, they are kind of finicky, I will give it that. They can also be white lights, and they can be red lights, both slowly shimmering in and out, or just maintaining a solid glow. As you can see right now, it's just because it's shimmering in and out, and that's what it's supposed to do. So white, red, or green, and then either of those three colors, it can be just on completely, or it could be shimmering in and out. And then they have 4 or 5 different designs that you can throw on there. So you get quite a bit for it. They're a little pricey though. They're like $49 retail. So hopefully you can find them cheaper someplace else. It seems a little much for what you get, but they are really cool, and you could use them over and over and over again. So it's one of those, if you get it once, you can use the things endlessly. So there's that. Anyways, that's this area here where they're doing the summoning the demons. Then down here in the Chamber of Sorrows, where the necromancers have taken prisoners, and they are torturing them and trying to either convert them to their religion or actually turn them into undead. And so all kinds of gruesome tasks are happening in there. That is the Chamber of Sorrows from Dwarven Forge. That's what it comes looking like. If you get the pre-painted version, looks like it's all spattered in blood, including with the pool of blood, so that's pretty cool. The torture devices are not part of it. The torture devices that you see in there, those are from, I want to say Griffin Co. I could be wrong about that, so I apologize if I'm wrong, but I believe those are from Griffin Co. But anyways, those are some of the torture devices in there as well. And then this center area here is like a natural acid pool that has a small natural bridge across it. And for the people that the necromancers are not able to either turn to their side or to raise into undead, if they're unsuccessful, they just take them over this bridge, and they literally just throw them into the pool below, which is filled with all kinds of, if the acid itself doesn't get them, there's all kinds of slimes and oozes there that will grab their bodies and start consuming them. It's just like a natural disposal spot for them, for the bodies of the victims of their rites. Traveling across the bridge, you come to this area here, which was probably used by the paladins for some great rites of some kind, but instead they have used it to corral the undead that they have successfully created. And there's like this flaming brazier that's there in the center of it, giving off sort of a bit of a hellish glow as the undead just kind of shamble around aimlessly, because they're low-level undead, they're skeletons, they're zombies, so they just command them to stay and guard this area, which they need to do because there's an opening here, and that opening leads back again to where these goblins are, these deep gray goblins, and so they act as a sort of a natural, not natural, but a good defense against the goblin incursions for trying to take their prisoners. And then also in this one, I started using a little negative play space, which is inside of here. It's not just this area. Going inside, in between where all the tiles are, I set it up underneath where there's some gray goblins and stuff. They're hunting. Here they're hunting these giant centipede, dangerous poisonous centipedes that they're hunting. That's what they usually eat for food. So this is an area, if people were to drop off the bridge, this also would be a play area, even though it's not filled with tile per se. It's a negative space play area, similar to, like this is a negative space play area, but generally speaking, if you fall into the bottomless pit, you're gone unless you've got levitate or fly or some magical aid or some way of bringing yourself back up to the proper elevation. So that's a negative space build, but it's not really great for play area. It's more of a final threat of death kind of thing. This one right here is designed, all through this center is designed, I'm just trying to work it in as naturally as I could, where it's also play area, even though it's not filled in specifically with Dwarven Forge or other tiles. So I'm just experimenting, trying to get good at integrating the two of play space and negative play space into one build, and hopefully make it have like a seamless type feel to it. You can get a look, from this angle right here. The bridge, of course, comes from a regular play space area into a regular play space area, but then down, if you fall off the bridge, you'd be in where the gray goblins are at in this small area here, and that bridge that they've got built across. So maybe there's something nasty in the water too that could be there as well. Basically, that's it. Probably have questions. Forgot to mention this thing right here is a magnetic levitation device that I got. It's about $80. You could just Google, go on Amazon and put in magnetic levitation device, basically. And all this does, it's really cool. It's kind of mesmerizing. You can see it's literally floating. Some of you have seen my other videos before. It's literally floating because it's a magnetic levitation device. Ta-da! But really nothing says magic like floating, glowing crap. The top piece here is from Dwarven Forge, and I just put that on top of it. It's LED lit on a little CR2032 battery, so it doesn't need anything wired to plug it in order to get it going. So I just put that on top of the rotating, let me pull this off. Ah, darn it. That's the way it goes. So pull it off, there we go. So they're super, super jittery. This is the device down here. You're never really supposed to do it one-handed because it's almost impossible. Those 4 lights basically just indicate when it's ready to be placed onto it. And I've got other videos that show this. I don't know. Again, I'm going to make a bad decision here and see if I can get this to go. It's really hard to do with just one hand because you can't see all the lights. So this is just a bad idea, but we're going to try it anyway because, almost. And it's basically, if you can light up all the lights, we're almost there. Maybe. Yes. Okay, there we go. So once all 4 of the lights are lit up, then you know that all the magnet is perfectly balanced, and there it is. It just sits there and it floats. And then you can either leave that like that, or I just cut out a piece of black cardboard, poster board, and put it there so it gets rid of some of that. And I take a normal Dwarven Forge tile and I just put it on top because the one that has the glowing stuff, the LED, well, it's got metal stuff in there, and so it freaks out on the magnet. It's too close and it causes problems. But if you just put it on top of another Dwarven Forge tile like that, then there it is, and you can just gently hit it and it will spin around, and you have a magical glowing floating device. So again, magnetic levitation device. You can find them on Amazon. I'm sure you can probably find them on eBay. This one is like $80, $85, and I've used it in a few other builds. Be very, very careful. You really shouldn't do what I did, which is try to put them on one-handed. You really want both hands and looking from the top down so you can see all 4 lights. If you continually drop it and the magnet grabs it off balance and it slams into the device below, the base, what happens is it offsets the magnets, and then the device will no longer be in perfectly balanced and it will no longer be able to levitate. So safety tip there for your equipment. If you do decide to get one, be very, very careful and don't do it one-handed. I was trying to do it with the phone, which was probably a bad idea. I managed to get it, but of course knocked it off once a little bit before. Anyway, that's the basic build. Sorry, this one took a little bit longer. Doesn't really matter which game system you're playing. 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons, Dungeon Crawl Classics, Pathfinder, 1st edition or 2nd edition, or any other previous edition of D&D. My own Creatures and Catacombs 5e homebrew rule set, if you're using that, is great too. You can always apply whatever mechanics you want to it. That's just a general adventure idea. And I hope you enjoyed it. Appreciate your time, and let me know what you think in the comments of the build. You have a great day. Take care. Bye.